Erika Del Sancho is CEO and founder at Mata Technologies. Hello, Erika. We're very happy to have you dito sa Startup Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm actually very excited to learn more about Mata Technologies. Very interesting yung name, Mata. So, sa wakas, malalaman na natin ano nga ba itong Mata sa Mata Technologies. So, Erika, ano nga ba ang Mata Technologies?
Okay. So basically, what we do in Mata, we virtualize islands using art and immersive technology. So basically, you're using your eyes to look at different islands and destinations across the whole Philippines, not just in Cebu, but we're trying to virtualize different strategic destinations across the country. So that's why it's called Mata.
Yeah, it's
Using our
very
eyes.
interesting. Actually, sabi nga nila, like the camera or like the automated, the computerized vision, parang extension siya ng ating mga mata through space and time. But you can see anywhere and actually anytime you can save even those images. But you actually also went into VR or virtual reality. So parang they cannot just see, they can also maybe like parang sense or feel. So how does it work? And why did you go to the VR space, kumbaga? And parang how exactly naiiba ang VR? Like how do you exactly let the customer, let the people experience these places through VR?
Okay. So I want to start with what happened, what got us into the VR space. So Mata, originally we did R&D. The R&D was about the application of VR in the Philippines. So yeah, we were DOST grantees for that research. And eventually, after we concluded the research program, we were able to deliver the best application for VR, like the applicable use of VR technologies in the Philippines is actually in real estate and tourism.
Wow.
So that's where we started, So this is quite the most important. We started with real estate, basically, because the money is really there. I mean, there are developers in different landscape, right? There are developers in the estates, condominium, offices, etc. So we started with that. What we noticed that where tourists go, property development follows.
Yes, actually.
So, diba? So we started looking at tourism, and this is what we did. This is our research. So there are in 2019, if my memory serves me right, there was a statistics about tourist arrivals in Southeast Asia. So there are about 133 million tourist arrivals in Southeast Asia. And guess how much the Philippines is getting from the total arrivals? It's only 8 million.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's only 7% compared to Thailand, which is about 50 million. So, but for me, as a Filipina, we witness how tourism transform communities, from generating job, income, and really helping the communities. And usually on my pitch deck, I would really highlight Apo Wang Od. You're familiar with Mamba Bata, right? That's traditional. So one of her interviews, she mentioned that how the tourists coming in their community changed the entire community, not just for herself, but even locals now became tourist guides, homestays. They let the tourists experience. And we've seen this while we shoot these places across the country, that it really do transform communities. So the impact is really in tourism. So we make money with these real estate, the private sector, we call them. But there is really like a rising opportunity in tourism, especially after COVID. So from there, R&D, we did R&D, and then we figured out the best application for the Philippines, and then we did it for private entities, and now it's tourism. So when you actually, how it works. So when we start virtualizing islands, you can actually check our website. I think we are about to launch 2 more islands, two very soon. If you go to our website or even to one of our islands, you can actually, it's actually VR ready. So people who cannot travel or people who are planning to travel can actually see these destinations. Like, it's not the type na expectation versus reality. So you can really see the place as it was when our team went there. So that's the value actually in the maps, having these destinations in one map, so you can check it out and experience the whole thing. So it actually started with the idea that people cannot travel. There are people who cannot travel. So we're talking about people with disabilities, cannot afford distance restriction. And we have a beautiful, beautiful tropical country, you know? Still, I mean, the 8 million is far from the 50 million Thailand is getting every year, you know? But we know that Philippines is a beautiful country with
Yes.
rich culture, diba? We have stunning dive locations and everything there, rich culture, food. So why not we capitalize on these things to really help not just the Filipino people, but even the community within those destination na area. So that's actually the whole story of Mata and how it works, how our maps work. So we are also very keen to making it inclusive. So our maps or our digital islands or virtual islands is actually accessible using your phone, tablet, laptops, and even your VR headsets because it's VR ready. So if you want the immersive type, like you really want to be in that area, so yeah, you can definitely use it. So that's the long answer to your question.
Wow, yeah. Maraming salamat no sa pag-share. First of all, ng journey. Ang ganda actually ng journey, kumbaga ng story ni Mata na parang it started with R&D and na-determine nyo na ang magandang application ng VR is real estate and tourism. Parang a way to see these places even though you're not there for possible buyers and for possible tourists. And I want to comment on that. Maraming salamat sa pag-emphasize no na sana, I mean actually that's very true. The Philippines is a very beautiful country and I think kailangan natin i-unleash kumbaga yung tourism industry natin. Like for example, when we think of like, for example, global, let's say Paris, ganyan, di ba? Or maybe let's say even places like in South Korea. People actually go there because they imagine na this will what they will see or what they will feel when they go there. And yun yung para na-unlock ni Mata Technologies na for possible tourists, they can see and they can check and they can validate. Hindi sila mabubudol or something na pag nagpunta sila doon, hindi pala yun yung masisense or ma-feel nila. And actually, that's very true. Parang, ang tourism kasi, especially for medyo developing countries like us na medyo, kumbaga, in terms of currency, pag pumasok ang, for example, US dollar, ang laking bagay niyan eh. And it can build communities and it can create jobs. And yung mismong pagpasok ng currency, ng cash na kung yung palitan ay malaki, ay significant, malaking tulong
Para export.
Yes.
Para export.
Actually, that's very true. No? Para tayo nag-export ng ating mga isla. Para tayo nag-export ng ating hospitality, ng Filipino hospitality. But yes, I'm very happy na kumbaga yung journey ni Mata ay napunta sa tourism. But I want to first ask again about the real estate. I think this is also very, very nice. Can you share muna just for our listeners para mas ma-imagine natin, no? Can you give some projects that you have and can you like explain to them how this really works? Like for example, if I'm a potential buyer, so I can use my VR or I can to explore the house, to explore the place. Is it like that?
Right. Yeah. So one of the biggest projects we had was with Mega World, a publicly listed.
Yes.
We also have New Star. New Star is the 7-star hotel here in Cebu. So that's also there are two, I would say, primarily. One is hotel is still part of real estate, but they have a tourism component right there. We also have real estate, which is the projects, which is the usual selling of condos and whatnot. So the biggest one we had was, I think it was a mix of condominium units and hotels, was Mega World in Mactan, Utah. That's like a very big chunk of development in Mactan. So we virtualized the whole property. They have a term for that, like township. So we virtualized the entire project. So that includes like buildings that are yet to be constructed, and even buildings that are ongoing construction, and even buildings that are already there. There are three things. So what we do is, for example, usually developers would have their own showroom, right? For like the studio type, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. They usually have that. They have built that for their customers. So during the pandemic, people are not allowed to go out, but business as usual for real estate. So what we did is we shoot these spaces. We virtualized these spaces. We included like the features and how it looks like bare and with furniture already. And this is
pwedeng exchange kumbaga sa VR if I want to see the bare or the furnished version.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, amazing. That's actually
a
very good value. Kasi I mean, sometimes when we see it as is, pero what if ayoko nung sofa dyan? For example, I want to remove it. I'm visualizing maybe in a different position. So yeah, that's very good. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, we can actually do that. We even have like we shot a small office, home office. So you have to transform the entire unit from a home to now a working place. So we also have that. So we kind of have those features when we develop, when we start virtualizing spaces. So with the tourism, we virtualize islands. For real estate, we're virtualizing spaces. So that's one. So they already have what do you call this? Showroom for that. So we shoot the showroom as is, like real showroom. So what you see is what you get. We really even to the last detail. So we even included like specs of like what the type of windows they put in, info boxes. Really like comprehensive. If you are a home buyer, you're no longer looking at a 2D picture, but you are really looking at the whole place.
You can zoom floor plan.
Yeah. We can even integrate the floor plan, by the way. So if it's a house with 2-story, and we can integrate a floor plan with radar, so if you click on what specific place, it would introduce that you're actually looking at this part of the floor plan. We did that too. So yeah. And then the second one are those. Actually, I mentioned 2 or 3, right? The one ongoing pa yung building, and the ones na hindi pa, they're not able to, parang renders pa lang. So we can actually make virtual tours even nasa render pa. So even if the building is not yet there, you don't have your showroom, but you have beautiful amenities sa render nyo, so we can actually show it to them. So it is now like the buyer experience now is emphasized using the VR technology. Now you can now see for yourself using headset if you want, or even your phone. If you want it, you don't have a headset at home, or the developer doesn't have one, so they can really access it to their tablet. I suggest the tablet, but you can still do it in your phone. So it's mobile friendly also.
Yeah.
So you can check it out. So now it becomes more, ano siya, visible. Hindi lang yung nag-i-imagine ka eh. Like when a developer say, oh, we have amenities for like pool. So you can now let your potential buyers actually experience and look at the pool inside, like in a virtual tour. So actually, we can actually enable that.
Yeah, that's very true. Kasi for example, I've been looking at condominiums, to actually like to rent or to own for a long term. And then, ang usual na ginagawa natin ay pupunta sa showroom ng mga real estate companies na ito. At doon lang natin makikita, parang they have the showroom so that's very real, Pero, usually in showrooms, may certain design So, ang ganda rin pag VR na pwedeng customizable pa yung design na maaari pong... And makikita mo nga yung mga amenities. Kasi malaking bagay yun, to be honest, then for if you want to get a condominium place, parang pagpasok mo, ano may feel mo, paano ka pupunta anong itsura nung lobby, for example, nung swimming pool nga, for example, kung may gym ba, anong itsura nila. You want to see, kasi this is money that you invest. This is big money that you invest. This is a big portion of your money. So, ayaw mo na basta-basta lang talagang gamitin ito. Kailangan that investment or that money that you spend is very safe and sound. Let's go sa my tourism, Yeah, this is also very exciting. Can you share some of these islands or some of these places that you've worked with? And yeah, so and also parang how exactly can someone na pupunta sa website ni Mata, ano makikita niya doon, paano ito nag-work?
Okay. So, when we did our R&D, we started with Cebu. So, general statistics. The 8 million tourist arrivals in the Philippines, half of it goes to Central Visayas. So, half is 4 million. 3 million of that goes to Cebu. So, wow. Cebu is really a hub for tourism.
Yes.
So,
yes, actually.
Credit. We're gonna give that credit to Cebu. So we did the R&D with Cebu. So they are actually our first to adopt the virtual island. So so we did. We went together with them. They identified these beautiful destinations, etc. And then we created a map to consolidate all of the information. Because what usually happens, so you're a tourist, I'm a tourist. Okay, I would know, like, if I want to go, like, if I'm going to Cebu, okay, Cebu, where do I go? So, what's in Cebu? Usually, I'd open Google, I'd open Facebook. I would also open maybe like reviews, right? And a lot of whatever, and Google Maps. So, 4 things or even 5 tabs in one. So I have to open also like other activities that I can also do there, diba? So now we kind of consolidate everything for the tourists. So before, if people would ask them like, what do you want to do sa Cebu? They would just like give out flyers or even like postings, etc. Now what they're doing is just they send the link. That's what they did with Cebu. Now you can look at all these destinations in just one map, like per municipality. So that's how it works. Like the function of the map. But there are times that you really want to see, like, okay, these are available destinations, but I want to see for myself. So that's the time they want to click on the tours we embedded on the maps. So that's actually how it works. Now, for the islands, we have virtualized so far. We have virtualized Cebu and a lot of municipalities around Cebu because because they knew the value na they're actually reducing the cost of their printing and whatnot, the flyers and diba? And yung reach nila is more global. So it's just a link. So anybody can access it across the globe. Whereas other people would really have to go there, get the flyers and whatnot and experience, diba? And get to know the place. So now it's just a link. So we gain traction not only for the entire province, but even municipalities that prioritize tourism in their priority plan. Like for example, Lapu-Lapu. So we're about to launch Lapu-Lapu because it has a handful of islets, and it's also a hub for beautiful sanctuaries, bird, etc. So that's another. So aside from Cebu and the municipalities, we have Negros Oriental, we have Panglao. Panglao is also one.
Yes.
We just had the go signal from Pampanga. So specifically the Christmas capital. I mean San Fernando, with the parol.
Yes.
Parol. So it's a destination also for Christmas, diba? So we had a go signal. We're now negotiating with General Luna. And we're talking to Region 8 because Region 8 wants their entire region virtualized.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then the latest islands we're going to launch very soon is Mindoro. Have you heard of Lubang Island?
Yes.
Yes. So
It's a
the
very
island
mystical place.
yeah, it is. It's also the place where the last Japanese soldier, surrendered. There's like a
Yes.
trail there.
Mm.
So we virtualized the Lubang Islands. Tiger sharks, healthy stuff. Yeah, those things are there. So it's actually in Mindoro. The second largest reef is next to the Great Barrier Reef is in Mindoro. So we virtualized the Lubang Islands. So beautiful. I wish I could show you the map, right now, but we haven't officially launched it. It's live, but we have to wait for the partners to really have that, And by the way, since we're talking about tourism, aside from the islands, we also virtualize museums because it's part of tourism. So yeah, instead of if you notice, if you go to museums, sometimes you only have an hour, so you don't really have the time to roam around. So at least even before you go there, you can actually look at the museum. So you just go to the places where you're really interested going and learn more. And even if you forgot to go there, you can just revisit the tour. And we made that first with the Casagurdo Museum. It's a full-blown virtualization of the entire museum. It has a tour guide, e-tour guide, yeah, and dramatization of the entire museum. So we also do that because it's still part of tourism.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a lot of answer, by the way, but
and hearing all of this, I'm really amazed actually na kasi before, to be honest, when I thought of VR, actually hindi ko pa dati kasi hindi naman, I mean, nung nauso yung VR, ang daming mga crazy innovations ko, no? Pero itong innovation na to is something that's very useful and something that can really boost and help our country in terms of tourism. Lalo na, now that I think of it, the Philippines is an archipelago. So if you're a tourist from another country and pupunta ka sa Pilipinas, usually may mili ka lang, I mean, kung limited yung time mo, di ba? May mili ka lang ng mga islands na gusto mong puntahan. Kasi hindi naman madali mag-travel from one island to another. Now, with the help of this, na parang, it's actually like, with what you're sharing, parang siyang VR-powered travel guide. Parang tourism guide. And ang saya isipin na bawat isla ng Pilipinas or bawat place sa Pilipinas, pwede mo tignan through VR. Pwede mong i-imagine through VR when you actually go there. And baka sabihin ng iba, anong difference, you already see it in the VR, bakit ka mapupunta? Pero when I think of it, it's very different, no? When you actually feel, when you actually sense, when you actually experience, kumbaga, the place. Kumbaga, it's more of an understanding na this is the place that you're gonna go to And when you're gonna go there, you're gonna experience the full thing. And naisip ko rin, sorry, I'm adding inputs na. For digital nomads, for like people who go to the Philippines to work they also do that eh. So it's nice that if they can choose a place na they can visualize muna bago sila mag-settle down doon and doon maging kumbaga digital nomad. So it's a
Right.
very, very, very rich technology and I'm surprised and I'm amazed sa inyong mga ginagawa.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very
Let's
much.
go back a bit, no. I'm very curious now kasi sa Pilipinas, I think hindi pa ganun karami yung parang nag-innovate through VR. So, in the first place, you mentioned na this was an R&D project through with the government. So, why did you choose VR and how did you learn VR in the first place? I'm very curious of that.
Okay, so before I took the position of CEO for Mata, it started with our R&D. So one of our co-founders, Ryan, we're actually three, Ryan, Bastian, and myself. I'm the CEO. Ryan is the COO. Bastian is the CTO. So even before by the way, my background is I'm a licensed accountant. I have I had a degree in AIM. So my track record was actually for corporate. It's not startup. So my career started with Ernst & Young, SGV Philippines. So it's quite different. So your question of why did you enter into VR? So it started with the R&D. So the R&D was spearheaded by Ryan, our COO. He was the brainchild.
His background is, I'm curious.
His background is marketing, but he is into it. It was it's also weird, like he just saw the opportunity.
And this is like using tech naman to like for marketing tech, diba? Kumbaga evolving what this tech can do to any field. So I think that's
that relates perfectly with marketing, right? Because we're actually marketing naman, diba? Marketing. We are a tech company, but we are enabling the marketing. Component. So that's actually he was the guy who spearhead the R&D for VR. So he's the guy who really had to go through the entire process, even with the OST. So after that, now if you notice, sometimes the people who are working for the R&D or the first part of a startup is not usually the people who would sit now for the growth. And so after like 6 months of talking to me, like, do you wanna take care of Mata now since we've done already the R&D? So it took me like 6 months to really, you know what? Because Mata is now bigger than my career and myself. We're now transforming communities. Then I think that's my tipping point why I ended up with Mata. I understood the technology because of my co-founders, and I am able to articulate it with you. I hope I did pretty well.
Yes.
Because my co-founders are really good. They're very outstanding. So I can talk to you finance. I can talk to you its application, even like how will it look like for a CEO 3-5 years down the line, because they gave me that like guidance on how the technology works even across different industries. And they're very knowledgeable. Bastian with an business innovation and tech background. Ryan has been an operation manager. He's now our CEO. Knows so well how to oil all the components. So if your question is why we entered into this space, it really started with the R&D with Ryan, and then we onboard. he onboarded us to take care of the growth and now application, like commercialization of this technology across the Philippines. So that's how we actually ended
And
with
if it's okay to ask, now you got me curious now about the operations. um,
Okay.
do you, first of all, how do you actually make a VR product? Parang do you go to the place, you shoot, and then you take those home and you process them? Is that how it works? And how do you manage to do like different places?
Multiple.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, since our pipeline is not as big because we are bootstrapping, right? Like we have limited resources, so we only have our team, and we're functioning or serving both real estate and tourism. So we only basically whoever needs it the most, we kind of tap them first. This is in relation to the tourism. So, like for example, we saw the need to help these islands first. So we like chose them to be like the first few because well, thanks to DOST, aside from the application of the VR in real estate in tourism, what really helped us with our R&D was from virtualizing islands from 600 hours, we can virtualize islands now in hundreds of hours.
Mm.
So that's how fast we can actually virtualize islands now because of the funding DOST gave us. So that's one. So operations pa lang, we were able to cut our time to produce. So the second one is operations. Right now, because like I mentioned, we have limited workforce. We're about 15 plus 5 more people that we contract on special projects. So what we do is we partner with the LGU. So we ask them a list first, like what are your priorities? Where are these destinations you want us to highlight? Are these only the known destinations, or are you considering even those that are with potential? So they usually give us the list and they build the itinerary for us. So we don't have to like write everything down, or we do our research though, like how to get there and what's the culture and whatnot. But once my team steps on the island, they're actually under the supervision or care of the LGU. So now with the itinerary, so they just shoot. They have their tour guide there. They have the people who would be bringing them in and out of these destinations. So we are really in partnership with the LGU, since this is also our way of giving back on how DOST helped us, and this is like our way of maybe we can do this in partnership also with the government LGUs. So the team, we would fly our team, and the last time they were in a private plane. So even me as a CEO, I never been in a private plane. So they have these perks, So we fly them in groups of 3 or 4, because we sometimes ask them to bring our Starlink with them for places that doesn't have internet connection. So they have to bring the Starlink, so they will be connected throughout the shoot. So when we get there, they should identify everything. So they upload it online. So it becomes available now. So pwede simultaneous yung post-processing of these content. While they're shooting, people from the office can actually continue working with what they already have there. And then once they come back, they can rekindle the project and meet na halfway. So that's currently what we're doing. We send out our team. But I understand that as we go like multiple islands at the same time, we are actually, we have a plan to accredit locals in the region. So we will train them. Yeah, we will train them according to our standard. So because we can actually work simultaneously while they do their shoot, we can bring them there. They can go to these destinations, and we have post processing here happening in the headquarters. We just need people that are competent within our MATA standards in virtualizing islands. So all of the artwork or everything you see on our maps are actually original content. So that's actually our strategy. Like we accredit people, even artists within the area, because these islands are very distinct from different islands. Like there are specific things like their cultural I know that should reflect on the maps also, even the icons and whatnot. So
may
that's what
styles, may style, parang may certain flavor
yes,
yung iba't ibang
flavor.
lugar.
Correct. Like for example, if we go to San Fernando, Pampanga, they're more about their the parole. So it has to reflect. We would want somebody there instead to help us virtualize that place. Somebody who knows that place, better than us.
Yes.
But
And
we
yung
we
feel,
actually
kumbaga, ng
send.
pictures, yung feel ng image, yung feel ng place, baka ma-reflect yun sa pag-shoot, right?
Yes, that's correct. We're just right now, because it's our team that's being sent out to shoot. We just trust on our guide and the eye of our team. These destinations, these spots are the most beautiful to be embedded in the tour. So, yeah, so we have that pipeline. As soon as we grow, like we have now consistently been growing. So as soon as we get those things rolling, especially yung different islands, we will definitely establish those. We have strategic partnership on these areas, but we want to strengthen this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Mata Technologies growth, so Mata is actually funded by the OST, supported by the OST. But recently, you also joined the Arise plus Boost Accelerator Program Cohort 2, actually, which is implemented by IdeaSpace, Kubo, DTI, and the International Trade Center. So, how did you get into this program, and maybe how did you get support from them? How did you benefit from the program? Can you kumbaga continue lang the journey from the OST and now to this program? So, parang what's that aspect naman?
Okay. ITC, it was actually in partnership with ITC, right?
Yes, International Trade Center.
Yeah. So, yung nila, I think I believe, and what I understood, their goal there is actually to tap the EU or international capability of a startup to really reach, these potential clients. So we actually looked at it in two different ways. One, is it our foreign tourists coming in more? Right? That's also internationalization. So the second one is, do we want to virtualize, because where tourism is, we can actually virtualize different countries, not just islands. Like the one now, one of our co-founder, which is Bastian, is actually in Mongolia.
Wow, so, Mongolia.
Yeah, he's in Mongolia because we were invited by ITC also for international trade, but more on gaming component. So I might have to tap on the gaming component, why we are invited on those, but we kind of had the initial map for Mongolia, like the top 10 destinations of Mongolia. What do you want to do in Mongolia? So we did that demo thing. So that could also be the internationalization. The third one could also mean our content. Since we have access to these beautiful destinations, right? What computer games do you do?
Now, Dota
Assassin's Creed, Dota, something like like Assassin's Creed, I know, Tomb Raider, like yung mga ganon na games. Because we have access to these destinations, we can actually 3D all of these destinations and make it as a component for environment, game environment.
Yeah, okay.
Diba? So if you notice my game na Ride 4, that's the usual game na our co-founder would usually to, so he now knows where to find all these, racetrack. Also, racetrack. Now, if you play Counter-Strike,
Yes,
could be
Counter-Strike.
in the ruin.
So pwedeng gawin parang real place yung kumbaga yung lugar.
Correct.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's very, oh my God. That's that's game changing. Kasi I mean, for example, Counter-Strike. I mean, Counter-Strike, marami siyang maps na actually
Right.
yung na maglalaban yung dalawang forces, di ba? Tapos, ang uso, I mean, dati parang, of course, yung places na yun, very abstract eh. Pero when you think of it, I mean, Counter-Strike in Manila. Ang saya kung ganun,
Diba,
no?
Marawi Siege. But I would rather not say that. Those are like events that happen, right? I mean, Tomb Raider could be like waterfalls. Diba? So because we have, it becomes a tourist attraction for players. Like you, if you are familiar with these destinations, you keep playing every day, you want to go there. Like one person, like one player who would play in Venice. He knows every corner of Venice because he keeps on playing the game. Egypt also. So they know how to go there. Yeah. So that's why the game community tapped us to join also a program with them. Now, if we could also help the game community create content sa ilang on their environment. So these are like 3D, like real environments across the Philippines.
Yes.
So if like one game developer would say, can you shoot us a beautiful place like Bantayan Island? So the beaches, so we can actually 3D do that and then make it as a environment.
Yes, and yung mga usong games nga ngayon, for example, GTA, Grand Theft Auto, or Mario Kart, for example, Mario Kart. Imagine, no? Nag-race sila Mario, the Super Mario Brothers characters sa somewhere in Clark, for example, in the
Philippines. Diba? Or sa SLEX or somewhere, diba?
SLEX.
So, because we are given access by the local government, and this is also another strategy for tourism.
Amazing. I'm very excited about this.
Very fun. It's nice now we are, we are given that opportunity to do that. Thanks to the LGUs and our local partners who will give us those access. Because there are times na hindi pa siya accessible to these specific people. So they give us access so we can actually virtualize the area. So pebbles, like this tree is from Boracay or something. So it can also be, that's actually digital assets.
Ang dami na biglang ideas to pumasok sa utak ko. I mean, now that I think of it, ang dami na open na opportunities, na kumbaga na advancements, na innovation, also in gaming, in tourism. I mean, parang mutual siya na win-win siya for different industries. And ang panalo, syempre, kung kasama ang Pilipinas doon, lalo na yung place, mag-benefit in the end yung community doon sa place na yun.
Correct. Like people who want to go to that specific place of the game, and then the generation, millennial down, alpha, these are people who gamify everything. Diba? So we're also preparing for that thing.
Amazing. Just to wrap up this conversation, this is a very, ang sa isipin talaga ng dami possibilities. Now, let's end with those like possibilities, or maybe your plans pa. Parang some of those possibilities na ginagawa nyo ng concrete now. What's the future for VR in the Philippines? The future for Mata? And like, lay out the plan. Lay out the future.
So, we are now, I think this is the best time to say it.
Sure.
This is the best time. I think we're planning for, we can say it Mata 2.0. So because we are actually a data mining company, so, other people would really associate us as art and immersive technology VR. But as soon as we virtualize islands, we are actually collecting data in content, right?
True.
So we will be launching our preferred AI, preferred, no, we will be launching our AI guided itinerary builder.
Wow.
So based on the data we have collected, because aside from promoting all these destinations, but if you are a tourist, but you want to make your own or you want to build your own preferred itinerary based on our data, you can create those
So
on
hindi naman
our
siya travel
platform.
guide. May AI assistant na rin siya. So
Yes.
VR na may travel guide na may AI assistant na pwede nga mag-recommend if you like this place, go to this place.
Yes. We are actually we plan to launch it very soon. Maybe we will be starting in one island first because we already have the data of like specific islands, and then roll it out if it's really helpful with the tourists. So
Yeah, I think that's very nice.
like if you like beaches, or if you like adventures, or you like camping, so the platform will be able, if you're going to Cebu, but you like camping and beaching and maybe, I don't know, sports activities, we will be able to recommend you these places. So all you have to do is, check which place, when, and, you want to travel by boat or whatnot, and then your preference, and it will create an itinerary.
An itinerary. Wow.
Yeah.
And actually, that's very true what you said. No? Now, when you actually go there and shoot these images, you actually also gather data. But kumbaga, you're just utilizing the resources that you have in the first place, that you actually are gathering in the first place. That's very nice.
Yeah, that would be so far, that would be our next big thing for Mata, the itinerary builder.
Yeah. Thank you, Erika, for this conversation. I'm really happy, and it also excites me hearing this technology, hearing kumbaga yung future ng tech, yung future lalo na ng pag-boost ng tourism industry sa Pilipinas. I'm really excited to see all of this come into fruition. So more power and support kumbaga sa Mata Technologies. If our listeners want to know more, maybe they want to experience the VR, or maybe they want to explore some partnerships with you. So how can they find more information?
So you can actually look at our page, mata.ph, or you can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, Mata Technologies. So you can easily ping us there. People will take care of you, or people will take care of you. Or you can directly email us at info@mata.ph to learn more. Yeah.
Yes. I'm actually excited to try now to try now yung VR experience sa real estate, sa tourism, some place in the Philippines. Kasi I'm actually not in the Philippines right now, pero actually uuwi ang Pilipinas this summer, and bala ka pumunta Cebu. So I want to try this out. And yes, maraming salamat, Erika, for this conversation.
And thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much to our 32 patrons. This episode is super powered by TechShake, Asia's most active Philippine-based startup ecosystem builder creating bridges with investors, corporations, and governments. 1 CFO, tech-enabled CFO, bookkeeping, and tax services for startups and SMEs. Take 5 Outdoors, the best guided outdoor adventure tour in the Philippines. They specialize in hiking and mountaineering trips. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. D-Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Pinoy IP Works, capture your startup's value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. And NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, AltSwitch, ePlayment, Tuala, and Hive Energy PH. AskLex PH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support the podcast through the links in the description.